One of the biggest discussion right now in America is, do you need a college degree or not? You know, and the reason why people are having this discussion is because the cost of tuition has skyrocketed over the last year. And now kids are burdened with student debt. You know, some parents are still paying student loans off, and now they're putting their kids in school. And so some kids today are saying, hey, look, I don't know if I want to be burdened with all of that debt. And now they're looking at other solutions. Now, I'm not saying either way if a college degree is needed or not. What I can say is having a high school education is not enough to meet the demands in the new market, in the new job market. So you're going to have to educate yourself somehow. You're going to have to do something different. There are very few jobs in the market right now that only require a high school diploma. You're going to need to continually educate yourself. The times are a bit different now. You know, when I came, having a college degree was a badge of honor. So even having a master's degree or PhD was something that was highly praised in my family. But in most parts, that's still the case. But back in those days, you could get a part-time job, you could do bartending, you could work summer jobs, you could bartend, you could work in restaurants. There were several things that you can do to help offset the tuition fees. Well, somewhere, don't quote me today, somewhere that, Congress came out and they said, look, everybody can have access to student loans. So everybody in America right now, if you apply for a federal loan, it's backed by the government, and so you can get a student loan. You have to pay those loans off. So not all institutions, but a lot of colleges and university, because now they know that money was coming from the government and they wasn't responsible for paying it back, the tuition shot up. And it has gone up out of proportion, where some people now are saying, is it credible to get a college degree with this skyrocketing tuition fees? Do I want to take on 10, 20, 30 years of debt because I want to get a 4-year degree? Now, I'm not here to give you the answer, because I still think education. But you have to do a cost analysis to say, having that $120,000 worth of debt versus, not having that $120,000 debt. I was looking at a survey from George Washington University that said people with degrees make 84% more money than people without degrees. So that's almost double. That's almost double the money. Obviously, that's not the rule, but that's something to think about. So, but now with the increasing prices with tuition, that trend is going down, where everybody back in the day was trying to go to college, and now people are starting to realize, hey, look, I can't pay this back. This burden is too great. I think something needs to be done with the education system. Obviously it's way above my pay grade, but obviously, hey, look, when you come out of school with a debt of $120,000, $200,000, and you're getting a job making $60,000 a year, you're never going to pay that back. You're going to be paying that back for the rest of your life, and so you have to do that analysis to make sure, hey, look, this degree is going to cost me, X. I'm going to make Y when I get out of school, and is that job going to be there? Is that job going to phase out? Can I get a job with this degree? And if you can, I did a video on recession jobs. So take a look at that one also. But you have to really figure out what you want to do, where you want to go, and make sure you do that analysis to make sure, hey, going to the school, there's a payback at the end of it, because you're going to go to school to get something out of it, not just pay money, okay? Oh, here's a fair fact. From 2016 to 2020, college entry in the United States dropped by 7%. There's a bunch of people out there trying to figure out why the drop. But the biggest drop is because of tuition. So I mentioned this earlier, so let's talk about going to college. So what program are you going to take? What school specializes in that program? Not just I'm going to go to any college. You need to be specific and say, can I go to this college because they specialize in this? A lot of people, when they go to college, they don't know what they want to do. They take, they take something that their parents ask them to get in. They take something they think they want to get engaged in. at a lot of people when they get into school that first day, and when they come out the back end 4 years later, they've changed their degree, they've changed their studies because they've found something in the middle there that's had enlightened them. And that's one of the key things or good things about going to school. You get exposed by other people, you get exposed by, clubs, and you get exposed by fraternities, you get exposed by, different people from different walks from around the world, and that will change you, that will mold you into something that maybe that you didn't think about when you first went into university. Second thing, can you afford, can you afford the degree? Can you afford the debt, right? You need to look at it long term. I know when you're a kid, you don't think about that, right? There's a lot of people on campus right now, they have no idea how they're going to pay it back, right? And their parents won't be able to pay it back. So you're just putting burden on yourself. So when you get ready to go buy your first house, you get ready to go get a loan to start your first business, all these things will come back on you. They will pop up again. So make sure there's a good payback on that, on your education. 3, is there a more efficient way to get educated? Can you go in the military? Can you go into community school? Can you go to a state school? Can you go to a trade school? There are things out there like Google and Microsoft that put on these seminars now. And these seminars, once you get trained and you pass the test, they'll especially Google, they will sought after. But there are different ways to skin a cat now than it was 30 years ago. Here's a key factor. Are you buying an education or are you buying an identity? Some people, they identify themselves and, I have a badge of honor. I graduated from this school, I don't know anything about myself, but I can say to everybody walking in the room, I graduated from ABC. I graduated from Hackman. I didn't really go to get an education, but I need to be an ACB man. I need to have that on my back. Why? Because of the alumni. Why? Because of the structure. Why? Because, the endowment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you really need to make sure what you're getting out of it. Because those 4 years, trust me, will go very, very quick. You're going to be on the other side of the door, and you're going to say, okay, do I need to continue my studies? Can I go get a job? And how much debt do I have? And, the government will keep giving you loans. This thing will stack up $300,000, $400,000, and then you don't know how you're going to pay it back. But maybe you can. I'm not saying it's negative, I'm not being negative Nancy here. Some people go to college, they're looking for a mate, they're looking for a spouse. The colleges have already kind of put everybody in a funnel wanting you to get in that funnel. You take your SAT scores, they kind of like weeds it down a little bit. Most people are smart, okay? You get into university, that means you're trying to do something with your life. You got a goal, at least you got a plan. You're doing something, you moved out of your hometown, or maybe you're trying to find, people of a different walk. Some spouses in a university setting, right? They're trying to get out of the hometown, trying to meet new people. So make sure, if you're going to pay $120,000, you just don't go there looking for a mate because it's not worth it. You can find people in other ways now with everything going on the internet. So be sure about that. Make sure you're going to school because you want to go to school, not just to meet your parents' expectation, or your family's expectation. Make sure it's something you want to do because your parents will be paying a great deal of money supporting your education. So when you come out the other end, you want to make them proud and you want to be proud. Only you can say, hey, look, I'm so glad I did this. This is the best thing that happened to me. I'm blessed, I'm fortunate that I had the opportunity to go. So if you can go to college and you have the advantage that a lot of people around the world can't do, take advantage of it. Educate yourself. Again, go to one of these tech boot camps, right? These things are fantastic. You go through 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 months, and you come out, you have a certificate from either Google. There's tons of places out there. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But there's tons of places that you can get educated, master classes. There's a bunch of stuff out there where you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to educate yourself. So make sure you look at some of those. Go to a trade school. Trade schools, I noticed, and I talked a little bit earlier in another video about welders, electricians, plumbers, HVAC technician. Those people and those crafts, they make tons of money, You know, it may not be this sexy job, but I'm telling you, those jobs are recession-proof. Those jobs make tons of money, and a lot of people get out. And look, and where I live, you can't get a good plumber. You can't get a good electrician. You call some of these people up, they'll tell you they'll be there 2 weeks from now because they're booked up, they're backed up. So there's other ways that you can get educated, you know, without going to college. Last one, you know, start your own business. If you're fortunate enough to have parents that have set aside, you know, $100,000 or $60,000, whatever that case may be, whatever that nugget is, and you say, instead of going to college, I want to take some of that money and I want to educate myself on a business, and I want to take some of that money and I want to invest it in myself. I'm going to invest that into a business. So when someone else is going through 4 years of school, you're already 4 years into the business model. You're already 4 years ahead of them because now you have practical experience. Now you have on-hand experience. So there's a trade-off, right? There's a trade-off. You know, there's no right or wrong answer here. So, but if you have, you know, $100,000 you want to go to school, or $100,000 you can develop a new business, then that's up to you and your parents and you know, your abilities and your self-confidence and what you think you can do. But there's no right or wrong answer here. Let's say you've been working, you say you didn't go to college, you've been working an internship, you've been learning a trade because you know at some point you want to start your own business, but you need to go get your feet wet. So the people in college now, they'll come out the other side. Now, it's the same thing for them. They have no experience. They're trying to get internships. They're trying to get some experience so they can couple that with their degree so they can go to you know, higher places. So at that point, you're pretty much, you know, there's some professions out there like, you know, you want to be a lawyer, you got to go to law school, period. You want to be a doctor, you got to go to med school. You want to be a teacher, you got to get a teacher's certificate. You know, you got to go to college. There's some professions out there that there's no wiggle around it. You just got to go. You got to put in the time. You got to play the game. You got to get educated so you can come out so you can do what you want to do. There's a lot of other places, a lot of other jobs out there. You don't have to do that. You can quite frankly say, you know, I want to start a school. You know, go start a school and hire teachers. There's a ton of things you can do. You know, that's a big one. But if you have the mindset, you can go do it. So I can't tell you if it's right or wrong to get a degree or not a degree. I know all of my children, I push very hard for all of them to get a degree. Hopefully they'll comment on this video and tell me, you know, Dad, if you're right or wrong. But for me, you know, I think education is key. So it's just several ways you can get educated now that wasn't available, you know, 20 years ago. So, hey, if you like this video, you like this content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you like to talk to me about, you know, getting a degree or not getting a degree, I can give you my insight, what I did with my family, what I've seen throughout the industry. I've talked to 1,000 people. I know 1,000 families have gone through this decision-making process. I'd love to spend half an hour, 45 minutes talking to you about it. I'll give you my insight. And I think, you know, I wasn't able to talk about everything here. This is a quick, you know, 15-minute video. But, you know, go to my website, book a session. I'd love to hear from you. And I think that's it for this one, guys. Thanks a lot for joining. Hopefully stay to the end. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you in the next one.